being relatively new to the art community, I haven't really had much exposure to this sort of thing, but I'm really interested in learning, and I like this discussion about the collaboration, and I'm really a big fan of collaborating, these cross-pollinations of all these different ideas, and I think, I'm really interested in curating eventually, and I think it was really interesting to hear from someone that's a student that's doing it, and someone that's kind of more on the professional level doing it, and then someone that's come from a completely different area, a different culture, and lives in a different area, and to bring all these ideas together and then have people asking questions that are concurrently. It was just all this information that was really beneficial, and I think it was really cool to see this community building and this community being strengthened and taking the time to attend these events and give us this knowledge, and it's so willingly open to share it. So that's really exciting.
So, one thing that I was thinking a lot about towards the end of this, and that I hope will stick with a lot of the people that were here tonight, was this idea of being welcoming and inviting. And I think that all of us as artists and curators, when we have shows and we invite outsiders to them, we have this responsibility to make people feel welcome, whether they are other artists or just the public coming into our space. It's kind of this responsibility we have, and maybe that's my experience working in the service industry, but I think we have this kind of responsibility as a host to just you don't always have to start a conversation with every single person that comes to your show, but smiling, nodding, waving, make people feel welcome. Have you ever been to a show when you walk in and you feel out of place, you're like, am I supposed to be here? And no one acknowledges your presence, and I think that the curator has this role of just making people feel welcome, and then on top of that, at the very least, you should be making people feel welcome, but on top of that, engaging them in conversation and maybe helping to educate them if they seem confused, introducing them to the artist.
I know there's definitely a science to everything, and I didn't realize how much work went into curating. So I'm definitely going to take away with the idea of working with spaces more, and limited options and things like that, and really just digging into the meat of concepts during art shows and things like that. So.
From this discussion, I really got the sense that people are actually taking an interest in what it means to curate an art show and how important that thought process is in this unique environment we have here in Grand Rapids now, with Art Prize and with this inflated interest in art and artistic culture. It's important for us to be aware of how the public is perceiving us and the work we do.
It became clear that the ideal situation for curating doesn't often happen. Having the perfect existing space and the access to that space and access to artists who are available during that time and that are working with your availability, that doesn't always work. And so instead, a tangible goal of curating in a non-traditional space or with non-traditional work is in creating a community, and I hadn't really thought of that as being one of the goals or one of the responsibilities of a curator, and I think that helping to empower each other by teaching each other skills and by focusing on sustainability that way in creating community is really important.
I think a lot of what I brought out of tonight was thinking about the curatorial position in more of a significant factor for the city and the group that we're trying to connect towards, and times like this where we can kind of sit together as potential curators, former curators, present ones, and just discuss all of our objectives together, supporting each other. Just through that discussion can sometimes lead to great shows, and I think that a lot of what I'm trying to get out of it is to be more supportive towards the efforts of other curators as opposed to just specifically honing in on my own goals. Another thought that I'd kind of been going at was to spend more time on my own curatorial thoughts and to kind of space out the times that I work on it so that the end product becomes more of a piece in itself as opposed to just a way to present other people's art.
This meeting meeting really brought into perspective all that goes into curating. I just thought like curating was something really simple, and when I volunteered to be in this curatorial team, I thought this was going to be okay. Just fill out this information and put it on the wall. Now I'm like, I need to know the space. I need to know everybody's kind of conceptual idea and kind of bring it together. So I'm really looking forward to like getting together with my team and sort of discussing that.